Welcome all to the weekly outlook. Boone here from EWPRO. So getting straight into the weekly outlook, looking at the DXY, we're looking at that WX extended wave Y. We're still in this wave Y, and then we'll be looking for an X2 down to that 38.2 retracement, and then a Z up. We're still in this wave Y, and we've got that extended wave WXY X2, and we're in that wave Z. We've lost all the bearish divergence. So we're just looking for a retracement back to this 38.2 and then a Z up. On the H4, again, we got that extended wave Z. We got a WXY X2 and then the Z up. We are starting to get bearish divergence now between the last two tops. So I'll be more inclined to look for shorts. I mean, you have to wait for this to be over, you know, and then start looking for your short setups back to this 38.2. It's starting to get risky. I mean, you still can scalp the buys if you want, but it's starting to get risky now that we're starting to get that bearish divergence. Looking at the H1, pretty much played out like we're looking at. We've got that WXY X2 and we've got that Z up, and we do have the bear divergence at this stage. So, you know, if you do get a sell set up now, you can start looking for that sell. AU on the daily, this is quite complex. You know, we were looking for that WXY X2 and then we've got the Z down. We lost the bullish divergence, so I was just looking for a correction in here and another one down. Then we got that bullish divergence, and that gave us this wave up here. So we've got 1, 2, 3 in here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we can look at that as a complex correction. And this goes and breaks the low for an A, B, C. Or the second scenario is we get a W, X, Y, X2 and a Z up. We do have possible bull hidden divergence here. To invalidate that bullish hidden divergence, we really need to break that low. That will invalidate the hidden divergence. So you can really trade in both directions if you get the setup to trade that. On the H4, we're looking for that Z down. Nothing's changed since last week. We're looking at WXY X2 and a Z down. We got an expanding flat in here on the news. I was just looking for a running flat and then go, but it turned out to be expanding, which doesn't make much difference. It's a correction. So we're looking for that first target 123.6 and the second target 161.8. It's, you know, very risky to be selling down here because this wave Z only has to break the ending point of wave Y to be complete. So it can turn at any time. It may not get to our targets, but it may. This is looking rather corrective still, you know, a little flat in here. So you get an A, B, C in here. You'd have to go down on the lower time frames and look for a scalp. And if you're looking for the sell, you're only scalping. EU on the daily. Excuse me. So we're looking at that WXY X2 Z down as an extended wave like we have on DXY. We got that WXY. We're still in the wave Y. We'll be looking for the X2 retracement up to the 38.2, and then we'll be looking for that Z down. On the H4, we're looking at the ABC. We've got an A, B, and we're getting an extended wave C. So we got a WXY X2, we'll be looking for that Z down. And then you could look for your buy setup back to that 38.2. GU on the daily. So nothing's really changed. We got a WX wave Y. We can still get down to that 161.8 like I've mentioned. Then we'll be looking for the X2 and then a Z down. H4, we're looking at a WXY X2 and we got the Z down. But again, we got an extended wave Z. And then there is no divergence. We've lost all our bullish divergence. So whenever this is over, we'll just be looking for a retracement, probably up back to the trend line here, and then more downside on the H1. We got this WXY X2. We're getting the Z down. Do we have bullish divergence or have we lost it? Yeah, see, we've lost our bullish divergence. So again, you can scalp the shorts, but you're really only scalping. It's becoming difficult because we're losing the divergence. There's more downside. And like I've shown on the weekly, we are looking for this low to be broken, as an A, B, C, and we get an A, B, C breaking this low. So, there is downside in it when we look at the higher time frames. But yeah, you really need to be up the top selling, not down the bottom where we are currently. We don't have any, like I mentioned, we don't have any bearish divergence, bullish divergence. So, we'll probably be looking at a correction in here and then more downside. Yeah, that's all we can really do. And you on the daily. So we're looking at that A, B, C. It's gone past 100 pip. It's broken clean past 100 pip, and we don't have any bullish divergence. So this, again, this can get down to that 161.8. On the H4, there really isn't much. You can look at this as some sort of a WXY X2 and a Z down. We are getting the bullish divergence now. So whenever this wave is finished, you could look for your buy setup back up to the 50 pip of this move, and then you'll be more than likely looking for more downside. But yeah, at this stage, you can scalp the shorts, but you're only really scalping, and then you'll be looking for the buy, back to the 50 pip, and then more downside. On the H1, you can see we've broken this low, and this is looking rather corrective for more downside. So you definitely can look to trade that down. UY on the daily. So this has really taken off. We've got that WX. All this is a wave Y. Then we'll be looking for the X2 and then a Z up. We got this extended wave in here. So yeah, it's exceeding all our targets. If we look at the H4, we're looking at that WX. All this is a wave Y. We're still in this wave Y. And even if this goes and breaks the top, it will still be in the wave Y, and then we'll be looking for that 38.2 retracement and then the Z up. So, again, you can scalp. We are starting to get, well, we are getting bearish divergence on the H4, so it becomes very risky. But yeah, we got an A, B, C in here, trend line break, and you're getting a bullish setup in here. So, you know, you can look for the buy. It's really only a scalp. You know, you definitely want to be at break even at the break of the top, and then you can just take half off and just let the rest run, you know, manage your trade that way, or however you want to manage it, but it's really only a scalp, you know. Looking at the Ftse on the daily. So we're looking at like an A, a B, and a C up. It's gone past 100 fib. So more than likely, and we've lost all our bearish divergence as well. So more than likely, this is going up to the 161.8. Yeah. So if we look on the H4, we've got a very big correction in here. So we're looking at W, X, Y. We're still in that wave Y. Then we'll be looking for the 38.2 retracement in X2, and then the Z up. There is no bearish divergence, you know, so it's, you know, this may not be over. On the H1, see, we've lost all our bearish divergence on the H1 as well. And you're getting another buy set up here, you know, very risky, pretty risky, but if you want to scalp, you can, you know, you can keep on scalping until you, until we start to get that bearish divergence. Yeah, you know, there is a setup there if you want to scalp it. It's not something I'd do. I'm more interested in the larger impulses rather than scalping, but you know, there is a bullish scalp there. UCAD on the daily. So we're looking at A, whatever's happening in here as a B, and we'll be looking for that C up to that 100 fib. This has become very choppy in here. It's hard to recognize the pattern in there. On the H4, we're looking at that. I think we're still in this wave Y. Well, we're looking for this wave Y up to that 161.8. So we get a W, X, Y. We'll be looking for an X2 and then a Z up. I think we're still in this wave Y. Excuse me. And this is an internal correction in here. And we're still in this wave Y. Once this is over, once this wave is over, you know, you'll be looking for a sell setup back to that 38.2 of this move here, and then you'll be looking for that Z up. GY on the daily. So we're looking at the WXY. Sorry. So we're looking at WXY, and this is a possible correction in here for an A, B, C in here, and then we're looking for that Z up. The problem here, we haven't, this correction isn't large enough yet for the X2, so we're waiting for that time factor, and then we'll be looking for a buy setup. So more than likely come break the low and then give us an impulse up and some sort of buy setup to give us that Z up. On the H4, it was looking quite nice. It was looking really nice in here, and then it fell over. So we got a very deep correction. So we can look at it as an A, B, C up in here, and then we get a larger A, B, C to finish off this the daily X2 before we get that Z up. So it's become quite risky to trade because it fell over here. So you really need to go down to the lower time frames. You've sort of got an A, B, C in here, come down, break the low, and there you sort of get it. It's not something I would trade. It's sort of looking bullish again now, but you know, you really want an impulse up, nice flag or correction, and then look for the buy. at this stage, it hasn't given that, you know, so it's very difficult. And if you're looking for the sell, or you're just scalping as well, both directions, buy or sell, you're just scalping basically. EG on the daily. So this one's finally gone, or it looks to be going. It's taken a long time looking at that W, X, Y, X2, and then the Z down. There is, excuse me, another scenario that this is an A, all this is a B wave, and we get a C up to this 100 fib, and then we get an A, B, C. So we get a large running or expanding flat in here, and then more downside, and that's more than likely what the structure we will get eventually. So you'd be targeting this 100 fib here, the 88.27 area. It has been giving us a couple of buy setups. It gave us a nice buy setup in here to buy. If you're not in that, you'll have to wait for another flag, you know. Well, this is more of a correction, but if you get another correction, look for the buy, you know, up to that 100 fib. Looking at gold on the daily, this is very complex as well. We get an A, W, X, Y. Then we had the possible bear hidden, but the bear hidden didn't play out and break that low. Instead, we got 3 down in here. Now it looks like we're getting 3 down in here. So we can start looking at as a flat in here, a running flat for an A, B, C, and then possibly more downside for like an A, B, C as some sort of large running flat before we get more upside. Getting on to the H4, we're looking at this A, B, C. It hadn't quite got down to that 100 fib yet. We do have bullish divergence. This may be internal, and we get an A, B, C in here. So, you know, you could look for just a scalp down basically, and then you'd be looking for the buy again. WTI on the daily. So this one here has, you know, really taken off, as we all know. We got W, X, Y, X2, the Z up. We lost all the bearish divergence. Now we're looking for an A, B, C. Ideally, we get back to this 50 fib or the trend line here, and then we get more upside. It does look like it's turning. See, this can be a contracting flat. I was looking for an A, B, C. We got the C up, and then I was looking for the larger A, B, C down. It started to go again though. So this can be a contracting flat. Well, a running flat, but yeah, it's quite difficult, because we can look at that as the contracting flat in there, and an A, B, C in there for an A, B, C, A, B, C in here, and then we get more upside. Unfortunately, we didn't get that larger C down, so it's made it difficult to trade. It's not really giving us the buy setups either. We had that nice buy setup in here, but then, yeah, got taken out at break even. You can really only trade the lower time frames on this, and you're just scalping basically in both directions. At this stage, there really isn't much on it at all. Same as Bitcoin. We're looking at on the daily. We were looking at this possible A, B, C before we get like A, B, C. We got a nice trend line break and a nice impulse up, but the problem was we got a very deep correction. So that sort of negated the upside for this, like, you know, the impulse up to break the top. So now we're looking at like the A, B, C, and then we get an A, B, C. We haven't got this C up here yet. So it's making it difficult again. You can see that I was looking for that C up last week. It still is possible. It still is valid until we break this low. If we break this low, we'll have to look at the structure differently. At this stage, it still is valid that we may get this C up, but you really need the you need that buy setup. You need a nice break above that top, correction or flag, and then look for it. Or else you're just scalping shorts, and you're really only just scalping shorts at this stage. S&P 500 on the daily. So we're just looking at this last section here. We got up to the 100 fib in this C wave. This has started to play out. We got an A, B, C. We're just about down to that 100 fib. It may come down to this 161.8. We don't know where this wave will end. So on the H4, we're looking at the emotive structure in here. So we got a W, X, Y, X2. We're looking for that Z down. Then you can draw your trend line, wait for the break, correction, and then you just be looking for that 50 fib retrace for possibly more downside. Yeah, so yeah, there's not much to do. We've already got that wave Z down. So all wave Z has to do is break the ending point of wave Y, and it's already done that. So it's risky to get in at this stage unless you're just scalping. You can scalp the shorts, but you're really only just scalping. And at this stage, you could look at an A, B, C in here. So, the only way you could really trade this at this stage is put a sell stop on just under here. And if you get triggered, well, that will be your stop loss. And you'll just be like A, B, C, looking for that 100 fib. AU 200 on the daily. So we got the Z up, we got the bearish divergence. We're looking at an A, B, C in the B wave, and we're looking for this C down to that 100 fib. So like I said last week, any sell setup you get, look for that sell. This is quite interesting. We got a nice impulse down like we had last week. So we're looking for the retracement. I was looking for an A, B, C, and that still can happen. We got 1, 2, 3 down in here breaking the low. So we may get another one up here for a running or expanding flat, and then you get that A, B, C. So if you're not in it, you can still, I wouldn't be looking for the buy. I'd be looking for a wave C up, and then, your sell set up, and then look for the sell. The DAX on the daily. This is, again, it's very difficult. We got a W, a very deep X2, and then we got a wave Y down. We got an impulse up. This is looking corrective. We didn't have the bear hidden here, so more than likely we're just going to get a correction in here for an A, B, C, and we won't get that Z down. It'll just be a W, X, Y, A, B, C, and then possibly more downside. On the H4, it hasn't broken this low over here yet. Or has it? No, not quite. So we want to see this break this low, and the bullish divergence hold. If we get bullish divergence, well, then we can start to look for the trend line break, and a correction and look for that A, B, C. But until you get that, you really, and if you're looking for the shorts, we're in a B wave. You can see it's a B wave just by looking at the price action. So the shorts, it's really risky to be selling, but this one worked out well. If you got in this one, you get that A, B, C. So yeah, I'll be more interested in the buy, break that top, give us a buy setup, and look for that 100 fib A, B, C at this stage. Looking at the Ftse on the daily. So again, we got a nice break. We got a nice impulse down, but we got a very deep correction. It didn't quite break that top. So it's made it difficult because it's so deep. So whatever's happening, it's corrective. Whatever's happening in here, it will be corrective. See, this is still looking, it's still looking bullish. It's we had that nice flag in here and it come out and took me out, like I mentioned, a break even with this spike up here. It's, I mean, if you get a little sell set up in here, you could look for the sell for an A, B, C, but you're really only just scalping. Me, myself, I'd be staying out of it. So I hope you enjoyed the weekly outlook. Please like, share, subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.